Hi everybody, this is Professor Morin from the University of Nice in France. I'm very happy to present you today a short video about something that's very important for football performance, and we are going to talk about the foot and the ankle strength and the ability of the foot and ankle to transmit the force in any player's action. Kicking the ball, passing the ball, dribbling, you see here, when you change direction, when you sprint, you generate power at the very strong and powerful muscles, for example at the hip or at the knee. But this power that's generated needs to be transmitted to the ground surface of the field so that the performance is important. If you want to be fast, if you want to accelerate a lot, if you want to change direction with effectiveness, then you need to have a foot and an ankle that are strong and are able to generate energy and to absorb energy as much as possible. So in this video, I'm going to show you a series of 10 exercises, well, let's say 11 exercises to stay in the 11 context of football. And these exercises are very simple. You can do them at every training session. It takes only 5 minutes, and it's all to strengthen the foot muscles. You should know that the foot muscles, the foot has muscles underneath the arch of the foot. We call them intrinsic foot muscles, and they are the muscles that help you grasp your fingers or extend your fingers, your toes, fingers at the foot. So I will use my hands today to show you how you should do these exercises. So one thing to know about these muscles is that they are active, and so they should be stimulated, and so you should train these muscles as any other muscle. So let's go for the exercises, and I'm going to explain you the exercises when you see the videos here on the screen. All right, so for the first exercise, you have to be barefoot. You always have no shoes, no socks. For this exercise, you need to flex your toes as much as possible and as strong as possible, and extend your feet like this. Flex, extend. What you need to do is you need to apply as much force as possible. This has to be 3 or 5 repetitions, but it has to be maximum intensity force output. So look at that, flex, extend, flex, extend. So we are going to go progressively from sitting on the ground to standing on 2 feet to standing on 1 foot. This is to increase the load at each time. The second exercise is here. You will flex your feet to the external side or to the internal side. So you stay with the knees on the ground and you rotate externally and rotate internally your 2 feet. Same thing, maximum intensity contraction. So you want to go maximally to the outside and then maximally to the inside. It doesn't matter if you have a small range of motion, if you cannot do maximum. What's important is that each player does their maximum effort and maximum contraction for 2 or 3 seconds. Now let's move on to the third exercise. Here you will dissociate your big toe and your other toes. So you go big toe up, other toes down, and then the opposite, like this. So you separate the contractions and you try to separate the fingers. Let's look at this again. So big toe up, big toe down, big toe up, big toe down. You have to coordinate your muscles to do that, and you have to contract your foot muscles. Same instruction, maximum contraction, 2 or 3 seconds, and you do 2 or 3 or 5 repetitions. So it doesn't take time. Now we will do exactly the same exercises, but this time you are standing on your feet. So it means you put some load on the exercise. So let's go with the first one. Flex the fingers, extend the fingers, flex the toes, extend the toes, and you stay on your 2 feet. So the fact that we are adding your body weight as a load is an increase in the overall loading. Now let's do the same exercise as first. You rotate to the external side of the foot, you stay on the wedge of your feet, then to the internal side of the foot. External side, internal side. You try not to move the knees too much, and you try to stay with your straight lower limb, and you go external, internal. There's absolutely no risk of injury and no risk of ankle sprain, of course, because you stay without moving. It's basically isometric contraction, but it's strength stimulus. So as always, maximum intensity, 2 or 3 seconds, 2 or 3 reps. Now we go with the last exercise, you remember. So here you have to elevate your big toe, then push your big toe onto the ground and elevate the other fingers. Elevate the big toe, elevate the other fingers. And you go like this, barefoot, on your 2 legs. Now, we are going to do the same series of exercises, but this time standing on 1 foot. First consequence, the load will be higher because you have your body weight now on only 1 foot. And the second consequence is that if you want to keep your balance, you will have to do some coordination and do some proprioceptive work. So I think it's very useful. Let's go. So you remember, this exercise is just extending the toes all together and then pushing the ground and grasping the ground like this as much as possible. You need to produce some strength here, maximum strength intensity. Again, extending the toes and then flexing the toes. Now we are going to go with the second exercise, remember, so you stay on 1 foot and you go to the external side of the foot and then to the internal side of the foot. You rotate the foot like this and you stay in balance, that's the exercise. So you go maximum intensity to the external side, maximum intensity to the internal side, and you do 2 or 3 repetitions. Of course, in these barefoot exercises on 1 foot, you do 2 or 3 repetitions on 1 leg and then 2 or 3 repetitions on the other leg. You always want to work both feet, not only one, of course. Now let's go to the third exercise here. On 1 foot, you try to dissociate big toe and the other toes. So you try to elevate the big toe and you stand on the other toes, and then you do the opposite. You push on the big toe and you stay balanced and you stay stable on your big toe, and then you elevate the other fingers. And you do like this 3, 4, 5 times. Now, to complete the exercises, 2 last exercises. The first one is just simply to walk, but not to walk as you can expect. You will walk as slowly as possible. You can see here, so you land with the maximum dorsiflexion possible, like this, and then you roll on your foot and you go until the maximum plantar flexion as possible. So you can walk for that something like 5 meters, 10 meters. This is a very good recovery exercise. In my opinion, this is what we could call invisible training. You can walk 10 meters during drinking or during a recovery. It's very simple, basic, but if you do it 2 times, 3 times a week, you have a very good training stimulus. Now, the bonus exercise is my favorite one. You have to stay on your foot on a point on the surface, and you have to rotate on your foot and do 1 turn on one side and then 1 turn on the other side, and you have to follow these instructions. You cannot touch the ground with your other foot, so you have to stay balanced and you do some proprioception. You cannot skip, you cannot jump, so you have to stay on the ground with the entire foot and you have to work like this, and you need to use your hands to get balanced, or if you want more difficulty, you put your hands on your hips like this. Believe me, it doesn't seem to be a very difficult exercise, but you should try that. Do 1 turn on each side. If you touch the ground with the other foot, you cancel the trial and you do it again. And if you can do 1 turn on each leg, then you have to try 3 turns on each side, and then why not 5 turns on each side. Believe me, it's a very funny game. It's easy, there's no device, and you will strengthen your foot and strengthen your ankles. It has consequences on the football performance, kicking, sprinting, changing direction, but it may also have consequences on your injury prevention, because when you strengthen the foot and the ankle, you may improve your, let's say, resistance to ankle sprain or other types of foot injuries. That's it, and see you next time.